that from, it was a study done, I believe, on kin or children of Auschwitz survivors, that I
Mhm.
had heard that there was a level of anxiety and stress that got passed down, and they started to see it in the second generation, I think. So I can understand it from that standpoint, which actually leads me to the question then, well, I don't know what my ancestors
Right.
went through. I don't know what emotions I was born, what emotional palette I was born with. How
Uh-huh.
do I figure that out? And then if it came from my ancestor, how the heck am I going to overcome that?
Totally. So I want to say something here, and I make this point in Energy Rising, which is that we learn from the physicists
Mm,
that energy can never be destroyed.
yep.
It can only be transformed.
Yep.
Our bad feelings, please hear this. Our painful feelings are an energy. And if we could destroy them by avoiding them or pretending they weren't
Mm,
there or numbing ourselves from them or watching a lot of Netflix or leaving relationship after relationship, we would all have transformed our pain by now. But
mhm,
plenty of us are sitting in our lives having done effort after effort after effort after effort. We're feeling very exhausted. And the levels of pain in our life, the levels of irritation and irritability and disconnection and fear and anxiety and stress are pretty similar. Why? Because pain cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed. Okay,
okay.
well, how do I think about my brain? Because you're making a great point. It's like, well, I have no idea what happened to my grandparents and my own
Right.
parents. I'm like, so am I helpless? Absolutely not. But to understand this, we have got to understand what the brain really is.
Okay.
And the best way to think about the machinery of the brain is as a pattern detection machine. Okay.
Okay. Great.
So your brain is quite literally moving you through life going apple, 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 fill in the blank. The
Mm,
future is just a fill in the blank, right? It's a new day, it's a new person, it's a new job, it's a new opportunity, fill in the blank.
right.
So the brain is going to predict, it was apple, 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 apple. It should be an apple again. Well, fine. It could have been a banana. It could have been a coffee cup. It could have been a dog, but okay, apple, fine, no problem. A lot of times, this is wildly adapted. This is why I'm sure we've all had this experience where we're driving home, we're listening to a podcast, or we're talking to somebody on the phone. We end up in our driveway. We're not quite sure how we got there, but
Yeah.
right? So this is that pattern detection ability of the brain moving us perfectly, unconsciously, automatically through life. Great. So the brain is not really going apple, 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 apple. What is the energy? What is the entity that your brain is really like? What is the apple in this analogy? It is emotional energy. It is patterned emotional energy.
Mm, mm,
If people get this, they will change their life.
okay.
So you have a core emotional pattern that you have held since childhood. I do the way I wrote Energy Rising is I wrote it into 8 neuroenergetic codes.
Okay.
So each chapter is a code and it's a blueprint for how to work with your emotional energy and your nervous system. One of the blueprints is what I'm talking about now, this kind of coding that we receive in childhood.
Okay.
So hopefully we have a sort of a good emotional pattern, and we also all have emotionally painful patterns. Well, I'm here to help people reform their pain. The things that are going well in your life, good. I'm
Keep
trying to
them.
help take the bad stuff
Yeah.
and make those even better. So we all have a core emotional pattern, and you get to choose yours, but it's going to sound something like this. I'll give you a few examples. Things never work out for me. Things never work out for me. Things never work out for me. Or I can't get what I want. I can't get what I want. I can't get what I want. Or I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. So what happens is, and again, remember the way I started this conversation, the entire meaning of your life rises on the energy of emotion.
Mm,
So I'm going through my life running a core emotional code that's unconscious until we do work like this and have conversations like these and read books like Energy Rising. And so I get into a new fill in the blank, a new house, a new year, I join a new workout program. I get a new partner, and I can situationally get a bump. This is why people usually feel all
Mm,
hopeful in January, for example. But we know
mm.
that before February, 85% of New Year's resolutions have failed.
Yep.
Why? Is it because people didn't really mean it? No. I believe people are very honest, and I believe them what they say. It's because this core emotional pattern is so powerful that we've got to understand how to work directly with it. So if I get into a new whatever, job, relationship, outfit, I might feel good momentarily, but I will always gravitate back to the core emotional pattern. So if I
Right.
show up in rooms, new opportunities, new jobs, new days where at a fundamental am running the emotional code, no one here likes me. I promise you, I will manifest a room where there are people in that room who do not like me
Right.
because
Yes.
the brain is superimposing meaning over reality. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I told yeah.
If
Yeah.
I look to the right now, it is a sunny day. I see beautiful trees and green grass. If I look to the left, I see a closet door and my Rorschachs. I have artwork hanging on my wall. Both scenarios are true. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my research and then you can kind of jump in here. But when I say meaning is constructed by emotion, if I had a million lifetimes to live, I would live it on this altar of human pain and human power because the only way we change our lives is by understanding, regardless of where we are in development, adolescence or perimenopause or menopause, how to work with the energy of our emotions in that moment.